Girls just want to have fun. Postmodern jukebox on the Focal Celestes. Now these are not a gemstone headphone. They're real fucking close at $990, but that's under $1,000, just enough for make me leave off the thing. So they've figured out the secret. So I hardly think these are affordable. And yes, I'm aware that they're aluminum magnesium and not magnetism. Magnetism, by the way, is a word for those people who are yelling at me. Magnetism, it's a word. Magnesium is a word. Now, the fact that the driver is magnesium and that it has a magnetic structure means that there is both magnetism and magnesium in these headphones. So a close back from Focal that's under $1,000, barely. That's 1/3 the price of the Stellias. Does it make the Stellias non-existent? No. Very different tuning. This is all brand new stuff. The Clear MGs and these are very, very, very new. So they're all using very, very, very new things that Focal has access to. And I picked the wallpaper just because that blue sort of like reminds me of this blue. It's like a deep blue. Like, I don't know if I like it, honestly. Like, I feel like I should, because I'm so bored with headphones. But there's like too much of it. Like, if it was just a blue accent on like a gray headphone, maybe. But like, you're going fuck you blue with gold, like rose gold everywhere. It's a little much. It's also on the wire with the rose gold on the dark, the something blue UHF. The fatal flaw of these headphones, the thing that's going to make me go, I respect them and I like them, but you have to not want Soundstage. And I've talked with DMS, who did them before me, and then I got the set, and he's like, I love them. They're the greatest fucking things ever. You won't like them. They don't have Soundstage. And he is correct. I need Soundstage. I need the Harmonic Dyne Zeus to really put a headphone into like the enjoyable category. These feel like a studio monitor. These feel like a headphone for work. My Neumann NDH20s have a similar sound effect of this. Those are $500. This is $1,000. They are very, very neutral, very, very closed, and I trust them to, when I like do sound demos, that's the Neumann NDH20s. These remind me of those with a slightly more delicate delivery of vocals. Not as neutral, but a little more delicate, little more oomph in the mid-range. And then when low end happens, because it's not all the time, it's not like these are a bassy headphone, but when low end happens, occasionally I'll go, oh, because some song kicks around and shuffle, and it just goes like 15 hertz at me, and I'm like, oh, I feel it. Which is kind of rare for a Focal headphone to be as clean in the low end as that. So Fabrique in hand. By the way, is Celeste supposed to be spelled with 2 E's? I feel like if I wrote 1 E, that's correct. And if I was in like 4th grade and they said, please spell Celeste. Celeste. Celestee. Celeste. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Jumping around. Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world. To the... end of pleasure, nothing ever lasts forever. I can sing along to these headphones. They have incredibly good they're $1,000 and they feel worth $1,000. Would I own them for $1,000? No. That's my job as a reviewer. Like all the headphones up there, I think are worth my time, my effort, my space. If these were given to me by Focal and said, here, review our Focal Celeste, which they weren't. But if they were, these go in a yard sale. Not saying they're not great headphones, just saying they're not my cup of tea. And you come to Z Reviews because all you care about is my cups of tea. Which, by the way, Zeos, link, what the fuck's the name of my favorite tea that I just found? It's like something of the Iron Fortress. No, Cambar. No, that's an anime and not a tea. Zeos, link the Kilogram tea you fucking love. It's in the description. The name of it. It's some weird shit about Mercy Fortress Iron. I don't know. Let's unplug it from here because I love that reference amp and I'm glad I got to use it. But now I'm going to 4.4 Pentacon, which this is not, by the way, the stock cable. The stock cable is this cable, which when I did the MGs, did the MGs have both? The MGs had both cables, the balance and the regular. This is just the regular, a little 4-foot, 1/4-inch ended, really stiff single wire here. And then, you know, thank God, 3.5 millimeter. I cannot thank Focal enough for not being stupid. Thank you. This is the one time the French company quit and they're like, just give it 3.5 millimeter. Thank you. Thank you. Even their fucking Stellias use just a 3.5 millimeter. $3,000. Fuck you headphone manufacturers that are like, oh shit, how do we separate this headphone as a more expensive one? I know. We'll use some obscure fuck you connector in the top of it. No. 3.5 millimeters is fine. Unless you need 2.5 millimeter for space, 3.5 millimeters is fine. Look, you just plug in any cable. So, see, I've been planning this review for a couple days, and I don't personally enjoy these as much as I think I should for 1,000. I thought the Clear MGs did a fucking more spectacular job of doing weird, interesting things with sound. These do very clean, nice things with sound, but studio monitors, no matter how good a studio monitor is, I know these music, I know it. They have exceptionally good imaging, by the way, but the sounds never occur more than like that far apart. Then that low end happens and it's like, wow. Is that where the extra fucking $400 went? Just like over other headphones? It's just like, oh, by the way, the bass is going to do this. You have that like when if you're a guy and you've gone pee, women who are watching this, please. I don't know if this happens to you. Do you ever get the pee shivers, ladies? No? Men get the pee shivers when they're like done. It's like, and they like lose their strength a little bit, just like at the very end. And it feels great. The bass on these gives you the pee shivers. Because it's like, you don't expect it. Because everything else is sort of like neutral and clean and narrow. And the bass comes in, it's like, oh. And you like, it's like the power browns out in your brain. By the way, Sneakers OST, the handoff. It's so focused. The sound, because the sound has no... I think one of the reasons GMS loves these is because he loves his abuse. He loves being abused by sound. There's so little soundstage that you are literally, you cannot escape the sound. Here, let's use this man as an example. Headphones go here. Usually sound is like spread out over this much. You get like, oh, good width. Things move. Things don't just move in behind your eyes. They move out, past, and that's, space and airiness. And these are here. So things are just moving here. I put on Yellow's The Race. I think it's called, I think it's The Race. And there's a car that drives by at the very beginning. It starts out in the far right and it goes to the left. And that happened from here to here. And it's like, that's not exactly like bringing it to life. These are the best studio monitors I've ever heard. M50Xs are studio monitors. They're very narrow. They're very abrupt. They show shit. They shove shit in your face. And you're supposed to just analyze it and then take them off because they're terrible. These are not terrible. These are the best revision of this. If you have a studio and you're like, hey, Zeos, I want to monitor audio levels and microphones and stuff. What headphones? I could legitimately, without feeling too weird about it, say, what about the Focal Celestes? And you're going to be like, what the fuck? And then you're going to see the price and you're going to be like, what the fuck? These might be one of the better closebacks ever made if they had a little more soundstage. If. Like, I'm listening to this song from Samurai Champloo, and it's just a sound that's bouncing from right to left, and then there's like a delicate piano just being played, and it's all happening in like a 4-inch space, and that kills it for me for enjoyability. Like, I'm sorry, if you want to know what my biases are, I need some soundstage. I've got these here. The owner of the Callies dropped them off. These are the Audio-Technica R70X. And these are famous by me because I got these years ago when I had just fallen in love with the HD600s. And the HD600s are what I'm describing, HD600s are. And then you throw the HD600s on a tube and they sort of widen up and they get a little more life to them. But these were narrower. These are the narrowest headphone that I've ever reviewed. And the owner left them here, and I'm going to try some different pads because he's like, you have a couple pads, right? And I look at my giant Tupperware bin filled to the brim with pads, and I'm like, yeah, I got a few. So I told him I'll give them a try. I'll give these like a re-review because there's too many people that have them and are using them, and I want to try to help them out. See if I can just get a little bit more out of it. Because as great as these headphones are, they're too narrow for me to enjoy them. And when I put them on a tube, in fact, they're still plugged into the Dark Voice when he was here, the owner was like, oh my God, I've never heard these headphones do good things before. Because you got to add a little bit. Now, I'm not going to switch the Celestes over to a tube. I'm sure they'll actually probably be beneficial. But I'm going with Class A. I got the GSX Mini, and the Sings are here, and I had the reference, and I'm giving you the raw data that these things are producing. Because that's what it is. Even these things don't add soundstage, and a tube's only going to add so much. It's actually the physical design of this that's kind of holding it back. I don't know if they just push the drivers too close to the wall. Like if you squeeze inside and you touch your thumb to the front and your finger to the back, you can feel there's only like that much space between the grills, which means the driver's here, which means the back wall's there. So there's like 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter of just space to do anything behind the driver. And it sounds so close. They're definitely tuned. They sound like a modern Focal. The Focal MGs are great. These are like that, but closed and narrow as shit. And the narrow as shit part is a killer. It's the one thing. Like if I didn't care about Soundstage, these would be fucking tremendous. Because I've actually come nearly to tears with some vocals. Because vocals usually appear in the center anyway. If you're listening to big orchestral pieces where things, birds and cannons and flutes, like having them all spread out is fantastic. Shoving all that shit into a broom closet with you is like, wow, I definitely hear everything that's going on. And you start getting claustrophobic. But vocals, if you have just a vocal track, let me see if I can randomly jump to one. Perfect example of not vocals, but like being in a broom closet. This is the Dave Brubeck Quartet, take 5. So there's like, it's a full jazz ensemble, and it should be in like a big spacious room. And it sounds like I am sitting here with everybody. And it's like, I don't want to be here. But I hear fucking everything that's going on. Yeah, female vocals. If you put on female vocals and it's dead center or slightly offset, because the imaging is spectacular. It really does handle the delicacy of the movement is spectacular. It doesn't get super wide, but it just moves around accurately as fuck. But if the vocals are just dead center and you're hearing it, it's like, wow, that's $1,000 headphone delivering Min-Me, whatever a Min-Me is. Battery death. I knew 46% was risky, especially with 2 restarts. Wait, I know this song is going to start. Give it a second. Gungrave soundtrack. What is this, happy ending? It actually changes the physical structure of my music. And I don't like that. Because I know, like, on an average sounding headphone with average width, like this song, like that guy was strumming the guitar slightly to the left. But in this, he's strumming his guitar just barely to the left. And it's like, well, it doesn't sound, that's not right at all. It's doing some things. It's like, oh, it's so close. I don't want to give these a negative review. I want to give these a fucking positive review. I want to link to sites that have it and tell them, go out and spend your $990 because it's not $1,000. But personally, if I have to, which I only can do personal stuff. Shit, am I doing this? I had these back here, just hooked up to the Rebel amp. Fucking, let's see, hold on. I won't change songs. These are just sitting there since the review. I mean, the guitar sounds better, but it's not in the right spot. Fucking KPH 30i Ultras and Clear are in the right spot. Do anything. Oh. You know what? I think the word I'm looking for now that I've like quick switched between a fucking $30 headphone and these $1,000 headphones is stuffiness. These feel stuffy. They don't sound. The thing is, stuffiness usually involves like sounding like this, but they're clear as a fucking bell. But they're so closed and compressed around your It's a placement, sound placement thing that I just can't. I can't. Fucking wrap my brain around it. Please, if you own Celeste, I'm not telling you you've made a bad decision. If you like them, you've not made a bad decision. I personally, on a personal Zeos level, hi, I'm Steve, by the way. Steve can't do narrow headphones like this. I can't. First thing I want to do is yank the fucking pads off and put massive pads. See if I get this fucking shit away from me. Get away from me. Get away from me, sounds. Very intimate, very closed, touchy touch sounds in my ears are fine only if you correspond that with a width to other sounds. And this is just, I'm actually getting aggravated listening to them because I know they're so fucking good. But if I could put on a $30 headphone and just like, oh my God, there's enjoyment. Pure enjoyment. Class A, Rebel amp. Fucking clear KPH 30Is with the fucking pig pads and the fuck, Like I literally breathe the I feel like if, just get an open back set of focals. The clear MGs are spectacular. They're $400 more, but spectacular. And I feel claustrophobic in these. They do a tremendous job of delivering like pinpoint fucking accuracy in this little circle of theirs, but I don't want to listen to them for more than like 20 minutes at a time. Because I keep hearing all my songs. I'm going, God, I want to listen to this song. Why don't I want to listen to this song? So you come here for my personal opinion. I try to figure out who wants a thing. All right, somebody wants this. These are super narrow and they need to be modified, but somebody wants it. And somebody wants this. Me, personally, I want this. This is my personal fucking go-to. Who wants this? Who wants the narrow? And it's only for studio monitoring. Unless you have like crazy tube setups so that you can like expand the width of the universe. Here, let's unplug this for a second. We'll take it off of balanced and we'll swap it to the GSX Mini on unbalanced with this fucking weird ass wire that I would have loved. I'd rather it have this janky wire and the ability to just switch to 3.5 millimeters because it's. Yeah, something's happening to my left, but it's not like left. I don't think this is less soundstage. Like, it doesn't get less. You think that balance usually opens up the soundstage, but it actually might not on these. What is this? Jenny Fleming? What? Jenny Fleming, acoustic trio, time after time. Oh, that's definitely like. I've heard this shit. Let's get to singing. Just because, hold on. Yeah, sounds like comparing this of a fucking $30 headphone to $1,000 headphones. That $1,000 headphones win for vocals. Yeah, but this has so much more space. Like, it's just I can't personally get over super narrow sound stages. I can't do it. I'm just gonna stop the music now because it doesn't matter GSX or Sings or the only thing that might help is if I had a crazy even the Solaris isn't like known for adding width. What would be I guess the one tube amp I did review with swap tubes, like you'd have to put on some fucking heavy duty tube amp for this. Not a hybrid. I have the two hybrids. That one probably would add something. I just didn't turn it on, so it's not warmed up for the review. I tested for a little bit on the K&N3 Pro, the little tube one. Because that's like, you got to try a little bit of tubes, a little bit of tube, a little bit of K&N3 Pro. It worked good, but it still didn't fix the headphones to the point where I'm like, I'm in love. So, yeah, I would clear MG over these. And the Stellias, at least I'm never like offended by how narrow the Stellias are, because they actually just like, they're a perfect balance of width and imaging. They're ideal. They're $3,000 and it takes a while to figure all these things out. But after you've listened for 3 or 4 days, you're like, oh, that's why these are their top of the line. And these are like a very specifically fucking 2 E's. Celestee. No, Celestee. That's what they should be called. They make my eyeballs pop out of my head. I don't hate them. I personally don't want to listen to them, but I understand how good they are in a headphone. And if you wanted to try like the polar opposite of this as far as width, but a similar-ish Harmonic Dyne Zeus. I cannot, they're not on the wall there because they're back there with the wire on them, so I could use them on multiple things. Harmonic Dyne fucking Zeus are like the go-to for just, I want to try something with sounds. These have no soundstage. These have no soundstage. These have at least enough soundstage and airiness to be like, all right, these. And then Harmonic Dyne Zeus are like the headphone I think everyone should own. Everyone should spend $350 on a headphone, which is a lot if you have nothing and like barely a blip on my fucking wall. But I keep looking at those. So these are the Celestes. If I've described something to you that you think you want, by all means, they are not garbage. They are the highest of qualities as far as like vocals and vocal. Boom. There's your fucking tagline. But if I just want to sit down and relax to a headphone, this would not be it. Ooh, no. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. Sound demo. I did the sound demo a while ago. I got a headphone. It was used. Person sent this in, so they're getting it back. So I didn't have to worry. I just recorded the sound demo real quick. I don't remember how it came out. But that's in the description. You can find that tomorrow. Also, I'll release it. The wallpaper, which has the blue that matches sort of like the blue. I'm never going to use that wallpaper because that blue will not exist in another future product. It might, but I'm going to just throw that fucking wallpaper on these and be done with it. I guess I'll link to the other headphones I talked about. I'll link to at least that amplifier and maybe the Rebel amp. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I switch. I came down here like 3 days ago when I started like the real listening. Like, all right, these are going to be great because I love everything Focal makes now. Everything now they make, and it's just like I can't force myself to love the narrowness. I don't embrace the skinny. Give me some big, fat, thick sound. Slap it. I want it to overflow the seats. I want it to not fit in a Miata. This sound easily fits into a Miata. I want sound so fat it don't fit in a Miata. And this will not deliver that. So yeah, wallpaper, links, Patreon, and Subscribe Star. If you like these fucking stupid ramblings, I do them every day, and I'm hoping to switch that to like every other day at some point. That'd be a fucking wonderful treat for the rest of my life to not have to do daily videos. So if you'd like to support this channel, Patreon and Subscribe Star, you will get to see these reviews early and participate in the yard sales, which will have absolutely nothing you see here in it. because these are someone's, those are mine. You cannot have those, and that I have to keep, and that's someone else's. So yard sales come up, and I usually just sell a bunch of shit because I do so many reviews. But yeah, if you want to be in that, $5 a month, see reviews early. For $10 a month, if you want to ask me questions, you want to quiz me on, hey Zeos, what do you think about this versus this? Or hey Zeos, I have a new living room and I want to do a surround sound. How do you? Those questions, $10 a month puts you in the behind the scenes private Telegram chat where you and 250 of your closest friends can all hang out. I've actually been told that people spend more money, not because of me, but because when they get into that chat, other people are like, yeah, I love these headphones. Why wouldn't you have these headphones? I have this amp, just like you have that amp. Why don't you have these headphones for this thing? And then people spend it's just literally that. I think there's like the gross domestic product of South Africa is directly corresponds with the $10 Patreon chat or subscribe star chat. It's a Telegram chat. So only enter that if you want to throw all your money away on audio at some point. Because once you get into that, you're serious about this hobby. And then Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum, where you can go to the Celestee post. I'm sure there is one. And you could argue whether you agree with DMS. You could argue whether you agree with me or other. You can go and post your own review there. There's official threads that are designed to host every forum review that you want, which is nice. And yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. If you told me right now for the next 10 days I have to listen to a headphone and it's either this $1,000 Celestee or these $40 fucking costs, it's gonna be the costs because I can't. They're too narrow. They sound better, but the shape of sound matters more. And I'll see you tomorrow for the sound demo. And don't forget the wallpaper in the description, which is okay. It's not.